Today's episode is a short but important one. I want to name something many high earning women feel but don't have language for. Sit with it and then meet me in the next episode where we go deeper. Welcome to Money, Legacy, and Her, the podcast where ambition meets action and wealth is built with receipts. I'm your host, Darice Renee. Every week, we break down the real money moves, mindset shifts, and bold strategies ambitious women need to create legacy on their terms. This isn't hustle culture, it's power moves only. Let's get into it. On paper, your life makes sense. The resume checks out. The income checks out, the lifestyle checks out, you're respected, you're responsible, you're doing better than most people you know, and better than anyone expected you to. And yet, there's this quiet, nagging feeling you can't quite explain. Not panic, not crisis, just this low-grade sense of misalignment. You don't wake up unhappy, but you don't wake up clear either. And that's confusing because clarity is something you've always had. Here's what makes this moment so disorienting. You're not struggling. You're not trying to survive. You're not behind on bills. You're not chasing stability. You've already done the hard part. So when this feeling shows up, you don't know where to put it. You can't complain because people are watching you. You can't panic because nothing is technically wrong. And you definitely can't say this out loud because it sounds ungrateful. So instead, you normalize it. You stay busy, you upgrade something, you plan the next trip, you say, maybe I just need to rest. But rest doesn't fix it. Because what you're actually experiencing is not exhaustion. It's directional confusion. I want to give you language for what's happening because language creates relief. What you're in right now is what I call the vision gap. The vision gap is what happens when your earning power outpaces your life's clarity. You're making money, but you don't have a clear picture of what that money is meant to build, what it is supposed to do. And when money has no clear assignment, it starts to feel heavy. Not because it's a burden, but because unassigned resources create pressure. As the philosopher we all know, Notorious Big, stated, more money, more problems. This gap shows up most often for first-generation wealth builders, and that's not an accident. We were taught how to achieve, not how to architect. You were raised to be responsible, be dependable, be successful, but nobody sat you down and said, at some point, success will stop feeling like enough, and you'll need vision to tell you what's next. So you focused on income, you focused on credentials, and on access. And it worked until one day, it didn't feel complete anymore. This is where the tension starts. You have money, but no internal compass telling you how to use it. You have options, but no filter to choose between them. And you have access, but no framework to decide what actually matters. So every decision feels heavier than it should. Not because you're indecisive, but because you're asking money to answer questions it was never meant to answer. Money can fund a vision, but it cannot define one. This is the part nobody tells high earners. More money doesn't bring clarity, it brings exposure. It exposes us to the absence of vision, to the lack of alignment and assignment. It exposes us to the truth that success without direction eventually feels empty. That's why raises don't fix this, bonuses don't fix it, New titles don't fix it. Higher revenue streams and multiple revenue streams don't fix it. More investments don't fix it. Because clarity doesn't come from accumulation. It comes from intention. Let me say this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You didn't mess up. You didn't miss your calling. You didn't wait too long. You simply reached the point where income is no longer the main problem. And that's a sign of growth. So we're in a good place. This is the moment where wealth stops being about earning and starts becoming about direction. So this is where we pause. Not because the conversation is over, but because the next step requires intention. So we're going to come back for a part 2. And in part 2, we're going to talk about why goals are not enough, how vision becomes a decision filter, and how to start assigning your money a role that supports the life and legacy you actually want. But before you move on, I ask that you sit with this question. If no one was watching and no one had expectations of you, what would you actually want your money to build? That question is the beginning of vision. And once you have vision, money finally knows what to do. So I'll see you in part 2. And that's a wrap on this episode of Money, Legacy, and Her. I hope you're walking away with the insight and the fire you need to take your next bold step. Because when women build wealth, we shift generations. If this episode spoke to you, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps more women find this movement. Want more? Head to moneylegacypodcast.com to get connected and grab tools to support your legacy journey. This is Darice Renee signing off. Stay focused, stay powerful, and keep making money moves with purpose.